Hey, Shalom. All praise unto Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. Okay. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honesty brothers be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, so as I like to do from time to time on this channel is if someone sends or shares an article that's sort of worldly or whatever, but I know a lot of people is gonna be it's going to spark up some kind of controversy out there between the Negro, Hispanic, and Native American community. And sometimes I like to do these kind of videos. Basically, like, we're the Most High likened us onto the light out there in the world, okay? And, finding the different streams of which that light's going to be seen sometimes, hey, the Most High, will have it to where he'll use a multitude of avenues, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna address a few things, okay, regarding this particular incidents that you have before you right here, okay. So I'll read the topic first. It says Jesus Kanye, okay, all right, and it says life-size sculpture depicting rapper as Christ erected in Hollywood. So before I even get into there's a lot of angles I could take this video, okay. So I'll try to simplify it as much as physically possible, okay? All right. So we'll start first and foremost with within the scriptures in the book of Job, the 9th chapter, and the 24th verse. Okay. Now the reason behind this is because we have to first destroy the idea, all right, of this Jesus individual, because the scriptures doesn't talk about Jesus. The scriptures talk about Yahweh Shai. Okay. Now, when you have it within the scriptures, the word Jesus does appear there. Okay. And this is where a lot of groups out there like IUIC and so on and so forth, they get it wrong. Okay. They got it twisted, man. Okay. Now, when you go into the Old Testament and you decipher, and it really is easy to do. Okay. You could do it yourself. Okay. What you could do is, all right, you identify what the word or the meaning of the word is, right? When you go into the book of Matthew, the 1st chapter on the 21st verse, where it talks about he shall save. Call him Jesus. That's what the scripture says verbatim. Call him Jesus because he's going to save his people. Now, if they were Hebrews, okay, then that name Jesus is non-applicable. That's going to be a translation or a transliteration. Okay, you got the two different words. Now, if you got a transliteration, correct me if I'm wrong. I do remember some of these things incorrectly. Okay, but if I remember correctly, if you have a transliteration, that's when you take the phonetics, the way the word sounds, and you translate and you use the different alphabet to pronounce those words. Okay, if I'm wrong in that naming it a transliteration, then please correct me. This is an open forum. You could do whatever you want. And then you have a translation. Okay, so for instance, if a man's name means a servant of the Most High, okay, all right, then in the Greek that would be that might be Obed Malak or something like that. But when you go into the Hebrew, that might be Abad Malak, rather more. Sorry. All right. So I think in the Greek it's like Obed something. All right. But when you go into the Hebrew, that might be Abad Malak, okay, or Obadiah Obadiah within the Greek, sorry, okay. So there's different ways in which you can navigate names and so on and so forth. But the purity of that name, okay, and the name in question here is the Messiah's name Jesus, or is it something else? Well, it can't be Jesus because that's a Greek term, okay. So let's get into the scriptures now. So it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is? So what the scripture is saying is, when the earth was going to be given into the hands of the wicked, because this was a prophecy, okay, they was going to cover the faces of the judges, okay. So what's the modern layman's term for that action? That's what you know as iconoclasm. Okay, so when you whitewash all the images, for instance, when you have the Russian icons and so on and so forth, and then they whitewash them, now you have the modern day images that you have right now. Then the notion of this Jesus, this different Messiah than that of spoken about within the scriptures, the one that's accepting of homosexuals, the one that's accepting of idolatries and so on and so forth, that becomes a very powerful symbolism, okay, if you're ruling Babylon. Okay, all of these things tie in together. The notion of Jesus, an individual that is all loving and all caring, is a very powerful tool. Okay, when you're trying to run a kingdom that is built off of chaos. Okay, that's a very powerful tool. Okay, now when we go into the scriptures here, now we can see that's what the wicked was gonna do. Okay, all right. Well, we know that the righteous was gonna be able to navigate through the means of truth and find out what the real law was going to be and what his real name is going to be, and that's the name Yahweh Shai. So if we type that in, Yahweh Shai, okay, all right, into the Google, okay, then you're gonna have a different, a very different image. Okay, excuse me, spelling is terrible now. You know, it's the weekend. Yahweh Shai. There we go. So lucky. Okay. Okay. Then you have a different, and brothers have done this test in the past before. Okay. All right. Then you have a different, very different, and brothers are going into it, explaining the names and so on and so forth. So you have a very different depiction of this individual, and this individual is not an all loving, all caring individual. This is an individual that is rather more individual, takes it down a notch than it really should be. This is a power, okay, that judges in balance. Okay, and another word of balance that comes to mind is in righteousness. Okay, all right. This is a power that's going to judge people in righteousness. This is a false idol. Okay, this notion of this Jesus. Okay, so in a roundabout way, they're kind of telling you, when you go into this article, if my computer loads back up, it seems to be having issues today. Okay, all right, but they go into it. Okay, they go into it, and what do they say at the bottom? Okay, so it says here, life-size gold statue depicting rapper Kanye West as the crucified Jesus Christ. Now, the first section, this first portion of this video was going to show you that his name is not Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, and we got the proof that when the wicked was going to be in rulership, that's one of the things that he was going to do. They was going to remix things, man. Okay, that's that Jesus Christ that they have this notion of, this individual here. That's actually Cesar Borgia. Okay, that's an individual that lived a certain amount of time ago. Okay, so let's read a little bit more of this. It says, life-size gold sculpture depicting rapper Kanye West as a crucified Jesus Christ, called false idol. Okay, now that's interesting, because in a roundabout way they're kind of telling you that Jesus Christ that you have out there is a false idol. Okay, like I said, we're gonna examine that within the scriptures. Okay, right? How the Most High has made Babylon a golden cup. Okay, it's been a golden cup within the Lord's hand, and that's one of the things that they're gonna be pushing forth, was that notion that what the scripture talks about is a man. Okay, that was gonna come. He's going to love everybody. He's going to have mercy on everybody. Okay. And he's just going to be merciful on everything, man. Okay. Which is complete madness. Okay. So let's go into the scriptures right quick. Okay. I believe it's in Jeremiah the 51st chapter and the 7th verse. Okay. So it says here, okay, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and has made all the earth drunken. All right. And it says, and the nations are drunken with wine, and therefore the nations are mad. Okay, so this statement that's made here, you can take it from two angles. Okay, one of which, the first one, the notion of Jesus Christ here, is an idol. Okay, so when we search out Jesus Christ, what do we have? Okay, we're gonna have an idol. Okay, we're gonna have an individual. Okay, all right, that is an idol, of which the vast majority of the people, all right, on the face of the earth, they worship this idol, okay, of which that's not scriptural. Okay, when you go to the book of I've done close it. Can I go to a Control Z? No, can't do a Control Z. When you go into the book of what do you call it? Revelations, the first chapter, which I'll go into right quick to show you that the Lord was a man of color. Okay. Then you find out that this scripture here, where it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that's a very pertinent scripture, man. It's a very important scripture, okay? Because this is one of the things that it was going to do, man. They was going to depict the Lord as being different from what it was, okay? So let's go to Jeremiah the 51st chapter, right quick. read that scripture over. Okay, I'll jump into the Revelations right quick. Okay, so it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that hath made all the nations drunken, and have drunken of her wine, and therefore the nations are mad. And that ties in with the statement that's made here. The Oscar-like statue appears on Hollywood, okay, which we call it Hollyweird, because you get all kind of weirdness happening there. A boulevard on Wednesday, and is representing the way in which society idolizes celebrities. And if they're not caught up into the darkness as spoken about within the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter, right? Gross darkness shall cover the whole earth. If they're not trapped into this darkness, then they're gonna be trapped into this darkness. Okay, all right. So Esau's got these people all kind of crazy. Okay, if you're not entrapped in the whole social thing with the media and the TV, all right, and the Facebooking and so on and so forth, and all the Instagram, whatever the kids do these days. Okay, if you ain't caught up in that madness, all right, which really lowers your spirit. Okay, if you ain't caught up in that madness, then you're trying to find some kind of resemblance of what you call it, of spirituality, then you're gonna be caught up in this madness. Going to show you how much more precious this truth was gonna be, man. Okay, so let's go into the scriptures, defining and showing you how to, just in case somebody out there doesn't see this, okay, felt some type of way about that, okay. But ultimately now you know the truth of the matter. Actually, the Lord was actually, this is the Lord. Okay, this is a depiction of how the Lord looks like. This is not what the Lord is actually going to look like. This is just a depiction. Okay, we don't worship this image. We don't use it as an idol. We don't bow down to it. We don't pray to it. Okay, it's just a depiction, because the scripture talks about how we're going to break down the strongholds, and this is a great old big stronghold upon the vast majority of our people, man. Okay, and when certain individuals are going to see this, they're going to have a somewhat of an emotional reaction towards it, because they actually believe that the Messiah, okay, all right, was going to be of this form, okay, and his name was going to be Jesus Christ or whatever, okay. Now, another angle you could take it upon yourself, you could say, okay, maybe he knows a little bit about the truth, whatever, but now he's depicting himself, right, as the Messiah, man. Okay, now you can take it from that angle, but in any case, and in any event, all right, it goes to show you how that this scripture is here is fulfilled. Okay, so I'm gonna read it again. It says, Babylon has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand, has made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine, and therefore the nations are mad. Now I want to go into the book of Revelations, the first chapter, right quick, and we go into the actual Messiah and his characteristics, and then I'll finish it off. Okay, all right, because it's depicting the crucifixion of the Lord, okay, or somewhat depicting the crucifixion of the Lord. That's not the Lord, but we're gonna keep it scriptural, or what the scripture says is pertaining to that.